What's up, guys? Today we're going to be going over a hot topic in the community right now, double slugs and hot swapping. And the reason this is a conversation right now is because recently in an interview, a dev said that they were looking into removing hot swapping from the game, which is the main mechanic that allows double slug to work. And in this video, I'm going to be going over the DPS of double slug right now, then how it would work after the removal of hot swapping, and comparing it to a few other things in the game to see if it'd still be viable or not, and overall if slugs would still be meta. And before we begin, my code AIR is going to be 30% off on G Fuel through the 7th, so definitely take advantage of that. Link will be in the comments and description. So this video is just going to be about the facts about double slug right now, then after the removal of hot swapping. I'm not really going to be going into if I think it's going to be good or bad for the game, because I honestly can see both sides. So let me know what you think about it. But just going over the history of hot swapping with double slugs real quick. Obviously it's been around for quite a while, but it got super popular in Deep Stone Crypt with Tanix because of the fact that you were forced to be close range anyways, and using close range weapons like slugs were pretty obvious. And given the fact that slugs are among the highest for DPS for specials, obviously pairing that with Anarchy, all in all that resulted in a really good DPS and total damage output combo. And there's a lot of things that make this combo possible. First, obviously hot swapping these slugs, but almost just as important is the fact that there are a lot of raid bosses that just stand still, which allows you to get very close to them and hit them with all of your shots. And for the ones that aren't easy to hit, you also have div in the game to make the crit very easy to hit. And on top of that, you have Lunafaction boots on well to double the range of the shotgun. That way you can place the well kind of outside of the stomp range and be safe. And then finally, the healing of the well itself, allowing you to pretty much just face tank raid bosses and just stand right in front of them and double slug. So there's all kinds of factors that are making this not only one of the most popular, but also one of the most effective DPS metas in the game. So I think it was just a matter of time before they looked into one of those factors to make this either more punishing to do or just straight up not possible. And it seems like they're going straight for the latter and just making it not possible to even hot swap. So first, looking at all the numbers of hot swapping right now, all you need is 2 slug shotguns. The meta ones are Heritage with Reconstruction and Recombination from Deep Stone Crypt. Then also first and last out with auto loading, and then also Vorpal. And you want assault mag on both these weapons to increase the rate of fire. And those are the 2 best options you can do. And look at damage on Carl with those shotguns. First with recombination times 10 on Carl, it's gonna hit for 72,170. Now with just a regular shot, it's going to hit for 38,319. Then finally with first and last out with Vorpal, 41,968. Now looking at Anarchy on Carl, because I haven't shown off the Anarchy DPS number in the new, little bit higher level of the Lost Sector. So it lasts for a little over 10.7 seconds, resulting in 218,000 damage, which is 20,447 DPS, which is then pretty much just added to any combo in the game that you pair with Anarchy. And I've already made a video going over how to do hot swapping on both mouse and keyboard and controller, so I'm going to go ahead and link that in the comments and description below. But pretty much what I just do on PC is bind switch weapon, and all you have to do is hit switch weapon, then tap sprint, and that is pretty much how the entire combo works. And now timing that full combo, so 2 Anarchy into 6 of both slugs, it's going to take 6.5 seconds. And the thing about this combo is if you look at both shotguns individually, all you're doing is shooting the shotguns at their max rate of fire at the same time, and you can't surpass either of the shotgun's max rate of fire. So there is kind of like a rhythm and you can't surpass it. As you see, my Heritage doesn't have assault mag on it, so the rate of fire number would actually be a little bit quicker if you had assault mag. So the numbers I'm going to be showing in this video are going to be slightly lower than they are if you have the perfect god roll for both shotguns. But anyways, that would result in the DPS of double slug plus Anarchy to be just under 100,000, which is obviously extremely good. Pretty much up there with the highest burstings in the game. But the thing about this is this combo is not a burst combo. That is pretty much going to be your DPS number the entire way. And after you've already stuck the boss the first time with Anarchy, your next combo of 6 shots of both shotguns will be even higher DPS because you don't have to stick the Anarchy again at now 116,000 DPS. So obviously that is pretty much up there with the highest of highest burstings in the game, but that is over like your entire reserves of the weapons. So not only does this combo have really good DPS, it is also one of the highest sustained DPS outputs in the entire game at least 1.8 million, and obviously you have way more Anarchy than you'll ever need. So in theory, the Anarchy would push that number way higher. So pretty much a double slug combo plus Anarchy is among the highest DPS and the best sustained DPS option in the game. But what would it look like if they remove hot swapping? Well, first you could just use a single slug, and look at that just with the first and last out shooting off 1 magazine. Takes 4.155 seconds, which means a single slug is still doing over 60,000 DPS, plus Anarchy that's 81,000. So now that DPS number is looking a little bit more in line with some of the other top options in the game, but still going to be obviously extremely good total damage output combo. You could also still just use Double Slug, which will allow you to avoid reloading by using auto-loading holster on the first and last out, then recombination on the Heritage. And doing that, doing 6 shots of each, takes 9.4 seconds, roughly 55,000 DPS, plus Anarchy 75.5 thousand. So it dips down a little bit, but you'll get a lot more total damage output still using Double Slug without hot swapping. And just because I would get a million questions if I didn't show this off, yes, a single slug is still a million times better than any fusion rifle in the game. Using null composure with high impact reserves, looking at damage on Carl, it's gonna be kind of weird. The first 3 shots are all the same at the 4188 times 7. Then after that, the 4th, 5th, and 6th go up, but it's weird because not every single bolt of the burst is the same damage. It kind of scales up per burst and not per actual full shot. And the total damage right there in that clip was roughly 190,000. Now if we look at the rate of fire of the null composure, shooting off with 6 shots, it can take quite a while at 5.6 seconds, which means 33.5 thousand DPS on its own, plus Anarchy up to almost 54,000. So that number obviously isn't terrible, but nowhere near that of even a single slug. But the thing about the null composure, for Atheon in particular, it's not that bad of an option because of the fact on Atheon, if you are optimizing your damage correctly, a huge bulk of your damage will be from Anarchy plus abilities plus supers. So for example, fusion nades or even magnetic grenades. Just doing those things alone will almost kill Atheon, doing roughly like 80-85% of his health. So pretty much mixing in any weapon in between to get that last 15-20% is all you really need. And given the way Atheon moves around, especially if you don't have div on, it's pretty hard to consistently hit your sniper shots, slug shots, you know, rockets, whatever it is. And that is why using something like a linear fusion rifle or even a fusion rifle isn't really that bad of a choice, because of the fact that you're not relying on crits, and it's very easy to hit all of your shots in between throwing grenades and using your supers. So that is why it's a pretty consistent option to use on Atheon. But for pretty much every other thing in the game that doesn't really move around, including Templar, using a single slug will still be better than using a single fusion, or you could even use double slug and avoid reloading by using the auto loading and reconstruction. So overall, slugs will still be perfectly fine after hot swapping is removed. They are pretty much the highest DPS for special weapons in the game, and if you pair them with Anarchy, you're still gonna have really good DPS and sustained damage output. Anyways, I think that's gonna be it for the video. Let me know what you think about them potentially removing hot swapping. It seems like they're set on removing it. It's just a matter of when. And do you think that's gonna be good or bad for the game? I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what a lot of you guys think, because I honestly can see both sides like I mentioned before. The main argument in favor of removing hot swapping is it pretty much makes every encounter the exact same, and the highest DPS option is also one of the best sustained DPS options, so it's overall just too dominant at pretty much everything in the game, which means there's no variety in the DPS meta. Then the main argument for keeping hot swapping is the main DPS meta has a skill gap to it. It takes a little bit of practice to reach max DPS, which is overall better than just standing in like a wall of radiance, just shooting rocket launchers, grenade launcher shots, whatever it is. If you remember the old meta with auto-loading Lunafaction boots, where you pretty much just spam, you know, 20 jail shots straight, and that was by far the highest burst DPS, and that was a pretty boring meta. So the main point of that argument is, even though it's a dominant combo, it's still overall better than spamming some low skill weapon at a boss and pretty much just killing them for free. Anyways, once again, my code is going to be 30% off on G Fuel through the 7th. I'll go to link the store in the comments description if you want to take advantage of that code while it's 30% off. Anyways, thanks for watching. Enjoy us next time.